And away we go. Welcome. This is going to be a drunken rant about the drunken politicians who are power mad and have passed or they've put up a resolution, which I will screen share here, to urge the United States Congress to repeal the Second Amendment. So let me do the screen share of that. I think it starts off with this is a blade called the Zakusushi, and that's, according to this from Zombie Tools, it says it's Japanese for fuck you. So that's how I feel about this bill. Track bills: Hawaii SCR 42, right to bear arms, Second Amendment, United States Constitution. So there's 3 pages of text here, and I'll read it. Although I'm going to need to keep drinking my martini here during this thing because it's just so stupid. I mean, they also have an assault weapons ban bill up and magazine ban. You know, I'll talk about that. Assault shotguns or something like that are being banned, meaning like the Sega or stuff like that. Anyway, okay, urging the United States Congress to propose and adopt a proposed amendment to the Constitution, United States Constitution, pursuant to Article 5 of the United States Constitution, to clarify the constitutional right to bear arms. Whereas Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, quote, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, unquote. And whereas this language has created considerable debate regarding the constitutional provision's intended scope, and whereas a lawyer wrote this, you can tell just from the whereas some believe that this constitutional provision creates an individual constitutional right. By some people, you mean the Supreme Court? Okay. For citizens of the United States, those 9 guys up there believe that. Whereas under this individual right theory, the United States Constitution restricts legislative bodies from prohibiting firearms possession, or at the very least, the Second Amendment renders prohibitory and restrictive regulation presumptively unconstitutional. Boy, you could have fooled me from the laws they're proposing. Whereas, however, others contend that the prefatory language of a, quote, a well-regulated militia, unquote, indicates that the framers of the Constitution intended only to restrict the United States Congress from legislating away a state's right to self-defense. Oh, and not the people, just the states. Okay. Whereas, there's so many whereases, fucking lawyers. Whereas under this, quote, collective rights theory, unquote, the Second Amendment asserts that the United States citizens do not have an individual right to possess guns, and that local, state, and federal legislative bodies possess authority to regulate firearms without implicating a constitutional right. And whereas these 2 interpretations of the Second Amendment have been considered adopted by the United States Supreme Court, and whereas in 1939, the United States Supreme Court adopted a collective rights approach under U.S. versus Miller, 307 U.S. 174, 1939, by determining the United States Congress could regulate sawed-off shotgun and had moved in interstate commerce under the National Firearms Act of 1934. And whereas the Miller Court determined that the evidence did not suggest that the shotgun had a reasonable relationship to the preservation or efficiency of a well-regulated militia. And whereas, how many whereases are there in this thing? The court further held that the framers of the U.S. Constitution included the Second Amendment to ensure the effectiveness of the military. Bullshit.
You're reading it wrong. There's 2 S's at the end of that. So it's whereas.
Whereas.
Ass.
Whereas, whatever. The precedent established under the U.S. versus Miller stood for nearly 70 years until the U.S. Supreme Court revised this issue in 2008 under the District of Columbia versus Heller. All right. So that's the Heller-McDonald cases, which you can read. You can read that. That's like a 224-page decision. Basically, where in the McDonald one was in Chicago, they were both consolidated into one case, and the city of Chicago didn't want to let a black man own a gun, and the 14th Amendment was specifically enacted to prevent because of the black codes during the Restoration after the Civil War, because the southern states didn't want black people to own guns. They wanted to take their guns and then hang them. So the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas specifically wrote, yeah, this black guy can have a gun. You can't stop him from owning a gun. So basically this is, backwards thinking, but whatever. Whereas the Heller Court held that the Second Amendment established an individual right for the United States citizens to possess firearms and struck down the District of Columbia handgun ban as a violation of the right, whereas the majority in Heller carved out Miller as an exception to the general rule that U.S. citizens may possess firearms by claiming that law-abiding citizens cannot use sawed-off shotguns for any law-abiding purpose. And whereas the U.S. Supreme Court has revitalized the discussion of whether the Second Amendment is a collective or individual constitutional right, and you mean they actually are hearing Second Amendment cases now because there's a 5-4 majority of conservatives. All right. Well, that remains to be seen how conservative these guys are. But whereas in light of the numerous tragic mass shootings at schools, workplaces, and public events, this body believes that it is necessary to repeal or amend the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution now. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 13th Legislature of the state of Hawaii, who, after they vote for this bill, whose authority I do not recognize over me, by the way, they can all kiss my ass. I declare myself absolved of any duty or loyalty to this state. Okay. Be it resolved by the Senate of the 13th Legislature, State of Hawaii, regular session of 2019, the House Representatives concurring that the U.S. Congress is urged to propose and adopt a proposed amendment to the U.S. Constitution pursuant to Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution to clarify the constitutional right to bear arms, and be it further resolved that the U.S. Congress is requested to consider and discuss whether the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution should be repealed or amended to clarify that the right to bear arms is a collective rather than individual constitutional right. And further, be it resolved that certified copies of this concurrent resolution be transmitted to the President pro tem of the United States Senate, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, members of the Hawaii Congressional Delegation, and the governor. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just, how stupid can they be? Should I declare myself the king of Hawaii Island now? I mean, I don't even, if I see a stop sign, if I see a red light, I'm going to go through it. That's how I feel about it. If I see a green light, I'm going to stop. Okay? Because they're doing everything backwards. Why can't I? I don't recognize their authority to pass laws anymore. They're too stupid to pass laws. If you want to hear me rant more, I mean, just reading this thing probably ramps up my blood pressure 20 points. But I had oatmeal for breakfast, so that counteracts the effect. All right. Moving on to the assault weapons ban. Just as dumb, even dumber. Dumb, and dumber. I need to have one of these olives for my martini. All right. You know, I was all into knives and checking out a bunch of knives that are really cool that I wanted to talk about on like the next week's Lock and Load, like Zombie Apocalypse. And basically, here's, I don't know if I could find it. Let me punch up something else. Come on, program. This is what happens when they pass something stupid and I'm not prepared for their stupidity. Photo gallery. All right. Here's how I feel about the resolution. I need to get to change the screen share for a second. New screen share. Let's skip revolting against the Hawaii government and just bring on the apocalypse, okay? Fuck the revolution. Let's just bring on the apocalypse. I mean, do you really intend to I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. They're already broke. They have unfunded pension liabilities for all the government employees. They keep raising our taxes. They just raised GET taxes. They try to like seize the records of Airbnb and VRBO to so they can tax everybody that's trying to rent a room out to a tourist. So this is how I feel about it. You know, fuck the revolution. Just bring on the apocalypse. Anyway, moving on back to the assault weapons bill that they put forward. Oh, hey, Patrick from Texas is with us, one of the free states.
Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I had a little 5-year-old trouble to deal with. 5-year-old little boy.
Oh, well, this is not the usual Monday time slot because this shit just happened and I, had to instantly throw up a...
Yeah, I heard about this, that your state wants to abolish the Second Amendment completely.
Are the politicians of the state.
Well, yeah. You know,
right. The idiots that run the place, basically. I mean, we have a lot of idiots that voted these people into office. They actually, I think last week, they had passed a bill that makes it like it's like illegal for a Republican to be on the ballot in Hawaii. It's so stupid.
You serious?
Yeah.
How the heck is that? How can they do that?
Because there's no Republicans left in the legislature,
Throw your name in the hat. Say, I'm a constitutionalist. Screw you.
And I would rather just declare myself the king, okay, of Hawaii.
Well, there you go, king of the Hawaiian Islands.
Right. Dissolve the legislature. Ban all taxes. All taxes are hereby banned. And I'm going to take that old computer that they have all the firearm registrations on and destroy it and the hard drive. Apparently there was an article like last month, a month or two ago, that's saying the computer that they keep all the firearm records on is so old, there's no way that they can like print up a list of the names of the people that have registered firearms and which guns they own. It's impossible. The computer's so old, it's never been updated. And I mean, they're just doing like every other state. They're raising taxes to pay for the government employees who vote as a bloc for the Democrats. It's just an absolute Democrat clusterfuck, this whole state.
We'll run against them and then promise a whole bunch of free crap.
I'll take over the government by force. I'm promising no taxes, okay?
Exactly.
No gun, no. The Second Amendment stands. No taxes for the county or the state, and we don't need the fucking legislature. We don't need the politicians. Whatever they think they're doing, they can all kiss. They can all just stay the fuck off my island. And if I'm not in a good mood, I'll throw all the Democrats off my island. Okay. They don't want to let Republicans. How about no Democrats are allowed to be on the ballot?
There you go. I mean, yeah.
They want communism, Marxism, like Maduro has. Okay, I have to approve every fucking candidate, okay, or they don't get to run for anything. I mean, that's if they're not going to let Republicans be on the ballot, if they want to repeal the Constitution from an island 3,000 miles away from the mainland,
Yeah, I know. It's what it sounds. It's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like Microcosm of communism.
Marxism, not just communism. Marxism, go farther. It's not just communism isn't far enough. Keep going.
Well, I mean, communism, they were all, under the Iron Curtain working for,
this is a good martini. I'm going to recommend this Hendrick's gin from Scotland here. It's pretty good. All right. Let's get on to the assault weapons ban that they passed. Let's see. I don't know if they passed this or it's still up for debate, but I mean, if I leave a comment, if they still have public comment, it'll be like, go fuck yourself. That's a comment I'll leave. Section 1, the legislature finds that the state has some of the strongest gun safety laws in the nation. And in 2016, Hawaii received an A- rating from the Gabby Giffords, a law center to prevent gun violence. Additionally, Hawaii had the lowest number of gun deaths per capita among the states in 2017, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. All right. I didn't even think they're allowed to keep records anymore. The legislature is committed to protecting the safety and well-being of its citizens by taxing them to death, and it is committed to creating safe gun laws. However, the fact that Hawaii is the only state with an assault weapons ban that fails to ban assault rifles and assault shotguns is inconsistent with this commitment. The purpose of this act is to, 1, amend the prohibition of certain assault weapons to include assault rifles, assault shotguns, and shotguns with a revolving cylinder. I think they're referring to like a street sweeper. When I was a kid, I used to see ads for those, like in the Penny Saver magazine that got mailed around to everybody's house. Anyway, 2, expand the type of firearms that fall under the definition of assault pistol. And 3, expand the ban on pistols with detachable magazines with over 10-round capacities to any firearm with a detachable magazine over 10-round capacity.
Why?
Because they want to see how much they can raise my blood pressure. That's why. By adding 2 new definitions to be appropriately inserted and to read, quote, assault rifle means a semi-automatic rifle that accepts a detachable magazine and has one or more of the following characteristics. This looks like a copy and paste from somewhere we know. Dianne Feinstein. A centerfire rifle with an overall length less than 30 inches. 2, a folding telescoping stock, a thumbhole stock, a second hand grip or protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger, a hand grip by the non-trigger hand, a flash suppressor, because that makes us invisible if we have a flash suppressor, right? A shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the second hand without being burned.
Oh, okay.
They want us to burn our hands.
So this also means bolt action. So bolt actions would be that too, because they include that part, right? It would, because
don't ask me. I can't think like them. I'm not that stupid. 7, a bayonet mount. 8, a grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, because we all have those.
I really want one at this point. A threaded barrel.
Ooh,
so Wesley, if you're listening, please get me a grenade launcher before this bill passes and I'll buy it. A threaded barrel capable of accepting a barrel extender, flash suppressor, forward hand grip, or silencer. Or 10, a pistol grip, excluding pistol grips for pistols not otherwise prohibited under this section. 8, assault shotgun means a semi-automatic shotgun that has one or more of the following characteristics. Accepts a detachable magazine. So I guess that means Sega's bye-bye. has a revolving cylinder. Street sweepers, bye-bye. 2, by amending the definition of assault pistol to read, assault pistol means a semi-automatic pistol that accepts a detachable magazine and has one or more of the following characteristics: an ammunition magazine that attaches to the pistol outside of the pistol grip, a threaded barrel. 2, a threaded barrel capable of accepting a barrel extender, a flash suppressor, a forward hand grip, or a silencer. 3, a shroud that is attached to or partially completely encircles the barrel and permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the second hand without being burned. They want us to burn our hands. Okay. 4, a manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. 50 ounces, if it weighs more than 50 ounces unloaded, then it's an assault pistol. Okay. 5, a center-fired pistol with an overall length of 12 inches or more. Or 6, it is a semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. What does that mean? Like an AKM instead of an AK?
So it would be, yeah, it'd be like an AR-15, even though it's semi-auto. Because
it's like all my guns except for my revolver and my shotgun are banned. Basically, it sounds like
any semi-automatic weapon that is patterned after a weapon. You got to excuse me, I'm breathing hard here. That is patterned after a weapon that already has selective fire capability, or even not even selective fire, just burst or full auto fire capability. So like an Ohio Ordnance BAR clone that is semi-auto only, banned. My SCG 44 and 22 long rifle, semi-auto only, not even the same action, not even the same kind of cartridge, banned. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's like so stupid. All right.
So I was thinking about something during the intro. So let's just, okay, they run it through Congress. They decide they're going to repeal the Second Amendment altogether. President signs it, goes into effect. Second Amendment is repealed. Now, they're going to have a hell of a time confiscating all the weapons. They're going to have an even bigger time stopping the flood of weapons coming across the border with the drugs. And now people who had a pump-action shotgun are going to have real military weapons. They're going to be buying illegally. Okay, so there's going to be two problems right there. Rounding up the guns that already exist. They won't get them all, no matter what they do. And then stopping the guns that they're really afraid of from coming in here. The next thing would be that if they take the Second Amendment out of the Constitution altogether, what is to stop a state from going, we have a Second Amendment in this state, and since there's no federal law to follow that says, you know, the right to bear arms is, it can't be infringed or can be infringed or whatever, there's no federal, it's, you know, wouldn't that give a state the opportunity to create its own permission to, within the border of that state, to have weapons, and you just can't leave the state with them? And you're going to see every pro-gun person flock to that state or those few states that just say, no, now that you've taken out a federal law, it's up to us. We can create this, and you can't counter it. You can't stop us from saying NFA items are legal now or whatever it is, because you just got rid of it. You didn't just ban guns, you repealed it altogether. So now it's on the state to do. And it doesn't affect intercommerce law. You just can't leave the state. Everybody is going to flock to those states.
And they're already flocking to those states just because to get away from the taxes from the states that want to.
The next thing is, let's just say they were able to magically take away everybody's guns and no state decided to become a sanctuary for gun owners. The next step would be to disarm law enforcement so they'd be like Bobby's, because they would be concerned that law enforcement would have access to weapons, and if somebody was going to lead some revolt against the country, it's going to be law enforcement, and they're going to have all. So once the cops are disarmed, what do they have left? The military. And now we're living in a military state, which might sound appealing to me under other circumstances, but no. So I'm taking some of this stuff to the nth degree and throwing a lot of what ifs out there. But I mean, that's a long road to travel to get to that point.
All right, I need to keep going on this. I think just reading this stupid assault weapons ban. Barrel circles the barrel. Where did I leave off? Does anybody remember? Oh, semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. Okay, that's where we left off. Okay, Section 3 is amended as follows by amending to read: the manufacture, possession, sale, barter, trade, gift, transfer, acquisition of any of the following is prohibited: assault pistols, except as provided by Section 134-4E, assault rifles, assault shotguns, automatic firearms, that they're already banned, rifles with a barrel length less than 16 inches, shotguns with a barrel length less than 18 inches, shotguns with a revolving cylinder, cannons, mufflers, silencers, or devices for deadening or muffling the sound of a discharged firearm, hand grenades, dynamite, blasting caps, bombs or bomb shells or other explosives, or any type of ammunition or projectile component thereof coated with Teflon or other similar coating designed primarily to enhance its capability to penetrate metal or pierce protective armor, and any type of ammunition or any projectile component thereof designed intended to explode or segment upon impact with its target. Wait, they're banning hollow points?
Sounds like.
By amending the section to read: the manufacture, possession, sale, barter, trade, gift, transfer, acquisition of any detachable magazines with, so this is a confiscatory ban, okay, or acquisition of detachable ammunition magazines with a capacity in excess of 10 rounds, which are designed for capable of use with any firearm, is prohibited. So rifles too. So your 30-round AR mags, 40-round AR mags, your beta mags, which you could go to the gun shop and buy today legally. When they pass this law, you can't. So,
well, possession of it makes you a felon.
Yeah, it's a confiscate. So overnight, people that had something legal are now felons that had never committed a crime their whole life. They're all felons, and
yep.
I'm sure you'll have 24 hours to turn yourself in and your the things they don't want you to have. I mean, I just piss in the general direction of the state legislature. Let me put it to you like that. This subsection shall not apply to magazines originally designed to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition, which have been modified to accept no more than 10 rounds, which are not capable of readily being restored to a capacity of more than 10 rounds. All right. Section 4 of this act does not affect rights, duties that matured, penalties that were incurred, proceedings that were begun before its effective date. Statutory material to be repealed as bracketed and stricken. New statutory material is underscored. This act shall take effect upon its approval. It hasn't been approved yet, but knowing this state, it probably will be. They're so stupid. All right. Well, that's enough of that.
So is this for your state, or is this? See, I heard it was for the country.
Well, this is for the,
this is just for your state.
The resolution was for the state resolution addressed to the U.S. Congress. The assault weapons ban is just the state. So the first one, okay, I'll go back to it 1 second. Is, let me punch it up. SCR 42. Scroll back up. It's a Senate concurrent resolution. The Senate 13th Legislature 2019 State of Hawaii Legislature. So it's urging the U.S. Congress to propose and adopt a proposed amendment to the U.S. Constitution pursuant to Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution to clarify the constitutional right to bear arms. And then a million whereases, which I read earlier. It's just
okay. So then the only way to say if all this happened, so there's, I mean, what next? I mean, is there a constitutional convention of the states where the entire U.S. government has no power, and we get to redo everything?
Who knows? Like I said,
because that's the only is the only way. That's the only real way of fixing any of it. You have to have a convention of the state.
Did you see my screen? Did you see this screen share earlier?
Yeah, but okay. I mean, but you know, everybody gets all pissed off and all whiny and bitchy and get
I don't
get
think
us
I'm whiny or bitchy. I just think there'll be an apocalypse.
Well, I know, yeah, but that's inciting a civil war, another revolution, or
I'm not
whatever.
inciting a civil war. They are.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying with the apocalypse stuff. Okay, but so the other option is the only option then, and the only option really the people of the government or the people of this country have is a constitutional convention of the state, where the Senate, the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, and the presidency have zero power, none. They're totally removed from government. They cannot do anything. But you have to have 3/4 of the states and representatives that are elected within your state go and then hash out everything and rewrite
Meaning
everything.
no more system of checks and balances is what you're saying.
It is all suspended, and it is suspended completely. Yes, they have no power. They cannot do anything. This is written into the Constitution for exactly a problem of people. And when the government has gotten totally out of control and is not doing the will of the people have the right to sit there and dissolve the government and rewrite the government.
Well, I really liked the 12 Limitations of Government written by that Scottish law clerk with the same name as the keyboardist for Depeche Mode, which was if the Crown fails to provide every male citizen over 18 with a firearm, bayonet, and ammunition, then they automatically lose their sovereignty over the country. End of debate. But that was never adopted in Scotland or the UK because Scotland went broke on an expedition to Panama. They spent all their money on like a search for El Dorado in Panama, on an expedition to Panama, literally in search of El Dorado. They went broke, and the English crown bailed them out and annexed Scotland pretty much. So, so that unfortunately for Scotland and for the world, the 12 Limitations of Government, written by Andrew. Oh God, somebody remind me. Squib, who's the keyboardist of Depeche Mode?
Andrew Fletcher. Sorry, I had to get to the mute button. I'm trying to keep quiet over here.
Yeah, so Squib is digging out snow at work, is what it is.
I just rolled a boulder made of ice the size of Patrick up the hill. So
you're rolling a boulder uphill?
Well, yeah, because that's the way you do it, man. Don't use gravity.
I thought you weren't allowed to be on your phone at work anymore, Squib.
I am outside, out back, with nobody out here to see me or hear me scream. And I have a feeling the third shift guy will show up any minute. What are you doing? What's going on?
He's going to want you to explain how to use a shovel to him.
How to use a shovel? Oh, you shouldn't have done all this. I would have done this tonight. Hey, let me tell you about my girlfriend. I don't want to hear about your girlfriend.
Of course, you'll be strong
I'd
when
rather
he
hear
shows
you
up.
talk about the gunpocalypse is coming, because they're gonna go, oh, Hawaii wants this. Oh yeah, we'll get right on it. I don't think they're going to. Now within your state, some stuff could go wrong because, well, I mean, but if they try, but here's the thing though, if they're actually proposing this, and I mean this is legit, they submit the paperwork, it goes so far and goes nowhere. That's the beginning, because what state will do it next? California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Maryland, Florida. It'll be Florida next.
I keep telling my folks to get the hell out of California, and they were complaining to me, "Oh, Steve, we've got to go see our public CPA, and we're gonna have to pay all those extra taxes that because there's no deductions for state taxes." And I said, "Why? You should have left. We were in Arizona. You could have bought a place in Arizona. I was there with you because you asked me to come and help you. And then you didn't buy a place in Arizona. And you're still in California. Now you have to write some huge check because California."
So you have to pay California to leave? Like, it really is the Hotel California? You can check out, but you can never leave?
Yeah. Well,
damn, man.
I've still got my entire recording studio in storage in Malibu storage. So, and some in Reseda storage. And I'm
Reseda.
tired. Yeah.
Isn't that where that mall is, where the second Terminator tried to kill John Connor? And that was in Reseda.
No. That's Van Nuys.
Oh, where they shot Airwolf. Oh, that's right. You didn't see Airwolf. Never mind.
Yeah. He's gonna need it though if they pass this stuff.
Yeah, and yesterday I watched a Canadian prepper video, and he was bitching about Ocasio-Cortez, and what's coming. He said the universal basic income is coming, and it's inevitable. And I left a reply on his channel that says I thought Judgment Day was inevitable, not universal basic income, but that's how. I don't. There's just certain aspects of Marxism and communism that I don't get. So,
how many people own guns in the state of Hawaii? Whether it be pistols, rifles.
Well, there's me.
I mean, we know one. We know maybe Island Z. Okay, there's two.
The guy that runs the gun shop.
I mean, if there's, I don't even know the total state population of Hawaii. But, I mean, if you guys got 300,000 people there and you all go up onto the Capitol and say...
Well, I can't just walk down to the Capitol because the Capitol isn't on my island.
Well, get on a plane. I mean, how much is... I don't know how much a plane ticket is. Last time I was in Hawaii, man, I was like 10 years old. So I don't know how much a plane ticket is to the other island.
Well, Southwest is starting a service to Hawaii from the mainland, and they have really good deals. Apparently, it's like $79 for a ticket.
Well, yeah, that, and I don't know if they got berries. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got a berry or a bigger tree.
Right. Well, I'll look out in the external comments, see if anybody's talking or making suggestions on what to do with our state legislature. I know what my suggestion is what to do with them. Let's see. Vanessa's back. Special ed.
I mean, Dog the Bounty Hunter lives there. I mean, doesn't his family have firearms too? I mean,
I doubt it. I doubt it. I think he's working in Colorado at the moment. I mean, they're closing their shop in Honolulu, and they used to have. I mean, there's declined bail bonds. His son lives out here on this island, but it's been a while since I watched that show. But I've tried boxing, but I didn't have the cardio for it with Sonny at the corner. I mean, Sonny kind of lives in the state housing thing. It's not state housing. It's state owned little like park, and there's like a little gym there with a boxing bag and stuff, and so he kind of crashes there, and but
the bartender girl from up on the other end of the island that wanted to shoot your tabor.
What about her? Oh, she has an AR. Yeah, she has an AR.
There you go. Now, what? That's 4 people in Hawaii.
There's a bunch of people that have guns in Hawaii. I mean, there's more people that have guns than you would think. I mean, there's a lot of hunters. A lot of hunters, that especially the local.
A lot of those guys who don't. Yeah, isn't there a lot of those guys who don't like the U.S. government? Those guys probably all have guns. The Hawaiian guys who fly the Hawaiian flag upside down on their truck.
Well, no, I don't think those people have guns. I think it's the people that have guns are the multi-generational sustenance hunting people that have been here for generations, and their father, their fathers and grandfathers all just hunted for, instead of going to the supermarket, they went hunting, and there's still people like that, and they're really smart people. I mean, and but I think they pretty much. I don't know. I don't want to speak for them, but it's. I just think that the whole Hawaiian sovereignty thing. Those aren't like those are not the Hawaiian people that do sustenance hunting. I mean, those are the real Hawaiians that actually have lived here for generations. His fathers were hunters, his grandfather was hunters, because it was just less expensive to go hunting than go pay money at the supermarket. So that's what they did, and that's what they still do.
I mean, what about all the sailors and Marines and airmen and Army
What about
guys?
them?
I mean, the Coast Guard that's based there. If they don't live on base, I mean,
Well, that's Oahu. That's Oahu. That's not the Big Island.
Well, no. I mean, there's stuff on every island. But I mean, what I'm saying is if they live on base, or if they live off base and they have all this stuff too, it affects them. I mean, granted, they probably wouldn't do much because they might get in trouble by their CO. But I mean, I don't know.
On base, you can't keep a firearm in the barracks or on base housing. You have to store it.
Right.
You have to request permission to get it out.
Right, but I'm saying for the people who live off base, those folks that have them in their own
they'd be under federal law. So I don't. That's a gray area, because there's some things that at the state level they can do to you when you're living there, and there's other things they can't touch you because you're there under federal orders. You're not there necessarily under your own free will, sort of, if you want to say it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, this whole banning everything in the state, I mean, other than a freaking, spear atlatl and a, slingshot and
There's nothing wrong with spears, axolotls, and slingshots, but.
Well, I know, but I mean, that's all you're going to have. I mean,
No.
A rock that's sitting on the ground. I mean, what the cops? I mean, the cops, like Squid was saying, they would dissolve the cops or take the guns away from the cops. I don't think they would. I think they would absorb. If this nation did do.
No, I think they would, because they would be concerned that who's left with the guns now that we've taken away from all the people. Who's law enforcement and military? Okay, military falls under federal jurisdiction, but you got lots of sheriffs that are air quotes rogues and all this other stuff. Not to mention, back during the Great Depression, when you had all these bank robbers and stuff like that, Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde and stuff like that, where did they get their weapons from? They stole them from the police, and every time they broke out of jail, they took them out of the jail armory.
Then the National Guard armory too, yeah.
Yeah.
They
So don't think that wouldn't happen again. So the government might be there going, we're concerned that the civilians will get access to police weapons, or the police might turn on us, and then they'll take them from the police next. At that point, the police will be going, damn, we thought they were on our side, and the only thing that's going to be left is the military, which they can't take the weapons from the military. But now the military is under federal control. So if you send the military in there, because you got a sheriff that goes, I'm not gonna follow the law.
The state governor can use the National Guard, right?
Yeah, they can, because when you take an oath to the military, National Guard has to take a separate oath to the governor. So yeah, but they do fall under the Department of the Army and Department of the Air Force. So I think they can be federally.
They can be federally activated.
Overrided. Activated and overrided. Yeah.
Because they send National Guard troops all the time over to wars all the time. I mean, but what I'm saying is the cops, they would just freaking military, and the cops are already militarized. You got a lot of people in there that walk around as cops like you're going to invade Fallujah.
Well, not on the Big Island. I got to say this is
here. We do here, man. We got Captain Commando who freaking goes to the gas station every other damn morning. I see him, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? You're a sheriff. You look like you're gonna invade a damn city. I mean, that's why I call him Captain Commando. And
I haven't seen that in Hawaii, but hey, that's just
they got them. Hey, they're all over the U.S., man. They look like they're freaking geared up for war every damn day. Not every cop. I'm not saying every cop looks like that, and every department looks like that, but there are a lot of departments. Man, these guys look like they're ready to invade a city and take it over. And I really and honestly think that they would probably bring the cops in as hey, you're now part of the military.
Well,
and the ones that don't, they're fired or gone. I mean, tough. Because there's a lot of young cops that don't give a shit. They think that they're gonna do what they're told, and they're going to carry their freaking AR-15, M4, MP5, whatever. I don't care, whatever the hell it is. I mean, hell, I saw a freaking cop on, this is a video. They were chasing a freaking car, and the guy shot at the cops. They started a chase, and one cop went in front of the car they were chasing, and he unloaded an entire magazine out of a full auto MP5 across traffic at this car.
Why?
I mean, to stop the guy from speeding, because he was
he was speeding, so he unloaded.
Well, he shot at cops that initially pulled him over because they thought he was involved in a murder earlier.
So it was a murder suspect. Okay. Well, at least that at least kind of makes sense. That it was somebody speeding, open fire. Yeah,
but the cop pulls in front of that suspect vehicle, gets about 100 yards in front of him, stops, and then points an MP5 directly at the car and lays and freaking has his finger.
I've always wanted to do this. Here's my chance.
And the thing is, he sprayed across traffic on the other side of the highway. They didn't shut the highways down. I mean, you have guys that are going to do that shit. I mean, I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust the cops. No offense to Sarge or guys. I got friends that are cops.
Well, okay, I won't get into the thing with Sarge, but because that was the thing. That was the thing on.
I think he's legit. I mean, he's a legit guy. That if he does something, he'd be like, no, screw you, fuck off. Like my friends are. They would say the same thing. But there's plenty of other guys that they've told me. My friends.
Yes, I can verify that. Sarge is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. You're not going to be worrying about him. I mean, he's going to follow the law, and he takes the Second Amendment seriously. But I don't like how people keep pigeonholing him. And
I don't. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, all I know is there was something, and people had different opinions. And when I was watching Midnight Ranges thing one week, so I don't know anything about it. So if you guys know him better, then I'll leave. I'll just go with your.
From what I heard, he would never go against the public. If he was, I think he would quit. From what I've heard him say, and how he expresses himself and takes things so seriously. But I've got friends that are cops. These are not cops that are rookies. These are guys that are near retirement. They've told me that there's plenty of cops that they don't care. They'll come bust down your damn door. They don't give a shit.
Right. Well, how long will they last doing that day after day after day?
I don't know, man. This is a scary situation to think about.
I mean, I like my Constitution the way it is, and I don't need no Hawaii stone stupid legislature. I mean, they're dumber than a bag of hammers, and I just. But the people vote for them, and that's what can you do?
Well, I mean, I know we brought this up in the lobby more than once during the week and Sean and myself and Rick and Tony, we've all discussed putting up the entire Bill of Rights as absolute, concrete, can't be changed, ever, blah blah blah. Put it up as a Supreme Court case. And
it's like that whole resolution is like, well, what does the Second Amendment mean? Tell us what it means. It's like, well, what does the 10 Commandment means? Tell me what that means. And before we move on to first do that, and then when we figure out what that really means, then we can deal with the Constitution after that, because it's just, what does it mean? What do you mean, what does it mean? We have over 200 years of jurisprudence that says what it means, and now they just want to just repeal it.
I mean, I was thinking, like, when I was listening to the Sandhill show this morning, and Squib was on there and everything. I mean, they were talking about how do you talk to somebody who's like not pro-gun or totally for firearms rights.
It's like teaching a kindergartner the ABCs. I found it's like that.
Well, it's just what they were talking about. Like, how do you explain this to an anti-gunner or somebody who's not totally for Second Amendment? And I was thinking that nobody said on there. Well, let's put it up as our rights and your rights, are at stake, and this is what it is. It's not just. It doesn't matter if you want to own a gun. It's your God-given right that are, at stake. And
yeah, it's basically the way the government is set up. It's not the government's job or responsibility to tell the people what they can and can't do. And it's the people's responsibility to tell the government what they can and can't do. And they're not. So it's like,
to explain stuff to people.
If the government collapses, it won't just be the politicians who fucked up, it'll be the people that fucked up. I mean, your freedom is yours for as long as you can figure out how to keep it.
Right.
I mean, they said that somewhere in the Federalist Papers. But I don't know if it was Ben Franklin or John Adams.
You start repealing amendments, especially the Bill of Rights. Your all your freedoms. You take one's taken away, they're all gone. It doesn't matter which one it is. It doesn't have to be the Second Amendment only. It can be the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Eighth Amendment. They repeal
the Fourth Amendment.
The Fourth Amendment. They take any of those away, and all of our rights are for now forever going to be gone, because they are going to all be taken away.
And they're going to be devilishly hard to get back.
It's going to be impossible. The only way of getting it back is a convention of the states.
I think realistically, the only way you're going to get it back is if there's an apocalypse and everybody has to start all over from scratch.
Well, I mean, the civil way without having, apocalypse.
My experience is that nothing ever happens in a civil way once the shit hits the fan. I mean, it's ugly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, God, we can see that throughout history in other nations and other parts of the world. I mean, nobody wants to go through that crap.
Not me.
I don't want to go through it. I don't want my kid to go through it. But by God, I'm not going to let my kid grow up in a shithole country.
Like San Francisco.
I'll die for freaking, for that shit. I'm not going to let him grow up in a world like that. I'll put my damn life on the line for him because he's my kid. I'm not going to let him grow up in a world like that. Fuck no. I mean, it's disgusting that we even have to sit there and talk about this shit all the damn time.
Yeah, and it's just, I think, a lack of education among the general population that either doesn't study history, it's not something they teach or something, and I think everybody that goes to school goes there to sit there for a certain amount of time and collect a diploma for all the good it does them, and they don't actually get any education while they're there. They're just sitting there.
Well, yeah, you're right. I will. HBS, you are exactly correct. That is how almost most people, when teenagers, are in school, and in the college kids. I've seen them on TV. I've talked to them in everyday life. I work with them. They are stupid. I mean, they don't know anything. I'm like, you guys don't even know about, hey, this is going down the pike, this is going to be taken away from you. You can do this, you can do that. Well, I didn't know. Like, well, did you pay attention in school? It's like Squibb talking to the third shift guy, I mean, they don't know anything. And that's scary. I mean, as far as everything being banned in your state, all I can say is everybody that owns a gun in your state, everybody needs to go to the damn Capitol and knock down the door of the governor and tell him, we'll wring your chicken gizzard neck because you're an idiot.
Yeah, EGA. But it's all the politicians there. I mean, the whole state is just so deep blue. I mean, it's not just the politicians and the governor, it's the people. They're like that.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's why I was saying, if people, say they always want to say they want to start a dialogue, start it out by, showing them that there's not just this right, it's other rights that are going to be gone, that you won't have. You won't have freedom of speech. You won't have fair and a trial by your peers that is fair and speedy trial, or
You won't have the right to be safe in your person. You won't have the right to against unlawful searches and seizures. I mean,
due process.
I was talking with an anti-gunner last year. Hardcore left-wing, hardcore Democrat, well-to-do, got plenty of money, so doesn't understand poor people's problems. Didn't grow up rich, but seems to have forgotten. And all about, the poor illegal immigrants, and this, that, and the other. But you didn't see them putting those people up in their big expensive house in a secluded neighborhood. Anyhow, they said, I don't know anything about guns, but I know I just don't like them. I said, well, how do you know if you don't really know anything about them? Well, all I know is that I could never kill anybody. So you're telling me if somebody was going to kill your daughters right in front of you and you had a weapon on you, you wouldn't use it? Well, no, of course I would use it, but I just can't kill anybody. What the fuck does that mean? There are people out there that think just because you've got a gun, a knife, anything.
They don't even associate between a hamburger and a cow. I mean, it's like that.
But what I'm saying though is who's on the who's got their YouTube feed going?
Me.
Okay, well I can hear it. We're getting an echo.
I don't think me.
All right. I was hearing myself talk again. It's like, dang. Anyhow, okay, the people that are out there that don't understand why the Second Amendment is there and don't understand anything about weapons at all, okay, who say, I just couldn't kill somebody. They think because we have weapons and we want the right to have weapons, that we must obviously want to kill somebody. And that's the furthest thing from, we would if we had to, but we hope that never happens. However, if you're unprepared, then what are you going to do? You're going to lay there and take it. And I think that's part of the problem, is there are so many people out there that have that mentality. I just can't kill somebody. Look, okay, it's not an easy thing to do. And you got to live with it the rest of your life. But what's worse?
What does that have to? What does killing someone have to do with owning a firearm?
Because that's what they associate it with. You don't get it. Mm-hmm. They associate with owning a firearm with you must have a desire to kill. You see what I'm saying? Because you want the right to own a weapon, any weapon, you must obviously have the desire to kill, which is something they can't relate to.
And I've heard that too. I've heard many people.
It's just I tell people, like I've said before, I don't know on air or off air, but the last violent act I committed was when I punched a bully in the nose in I think high school or junior high school. It was so far long ago. And here I am, I've owned guns like my entire life. And no violence. I mean, shooting paper targets isn't violent. I just don't get it. It's just that the way I think about it is people that own guns don't just believe in peace; they insist upon it. That's all.
Well, they don't think that. I
can tell you, I've been in showdowns and situations, and as soon as I've been in situations where 10 guys wanted to kick the ever living shit out of me, and as soon as they realized I was armed, that ended all thoughts of violence in anybody's head.
Oh yeah.
It's over. Does. It's like, we're gonna kick your ass. Oh wait, you've got a gun. Never mind.
Right. But no, Squib was right. I've met people like that before that they think, oh no, you just want to go out and hurt people, and they think we're psychos. I mean, really, if that was the case, then how come now all of the 600 million guns in the country don't go? How come there's not people dying every single day? And
if you're
thousands of people every day.
If you're a bear, if you're a tiger, if you're a great white shark, then you have a natural instinct to eat, and you have to kill to eat. Okay, and you learn some of that, but those are animals, not human beings.
Right.
We don't have teeth or giant 5-inch claws on each paw, so mankind has to fashion weapons that work for him. And that doesn't mean we're violent. I mean, but there's a lot of people, they just can't associate between like a steak and a cow, or, I mean, it's just, people are just disconnected from reality in every aspect of their life, from the water that they drink, the food that they eat, in every way, they're not connected to reality.
Well, yeah, I can tell you that. I'll tell you, give you an example. I was talking with the guys I work with that are younger than me yesterday, and I said, "Where y'all going out? Where y'all going out for Fat Tuesday?" And they were like, "What?" I said, "Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. It's usually what you do when you're young. You go out and have fun on the drinking holidays and all that." And I said, "Do you get your beads?" And they were looking at me. Beads. I was like, "What do you mean beads?" I go, your beads you wear around your neck. You sit there and and then you show them to a girl, and a girl shows you her tatas, and you give her the beads. That's what that's what happens
that's
in
a
Mardi
New
Gras.
Orleans. That's a New Orleans thing, right?
Yeah, but it happens all over the country here. It's just on that.
We need to have Mardi Gras here. We don't have Mardi Gras in Hawaii.
You guys don't celebrate Mardi Gras in Hawaii? Jesus.
No, but if I want to see girls with, I just go to the beach. Okay.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras. My God, they do it all. When the stock car races come to town, that's stuff like that happens. I mean, I was like, "What are you guys, crazy? You guys are 20s. What the hell are you doing?" They don't know anything about stuff like that. Yeah, they are. I mean, they are out of touch with reality. I mean, but and I don't know how you talk to any of them because they're so stupid.
Well, it's like I was talking about the other night about, and especially ties to our rights as individuals, or even our collective rights. It's you put a frog into a pot of boiling hot water, it'll jump right out because it knows it's going to die. But if you put a frog into a cold pot of water, it'll swim around and thinks it's okay. And you just and then if you just slowly turn up the heat, it won't realize that it's in trouble until it's way too late and it's cooked.
Mm-hmm.
And so you start losing your rights, you're just never going to get them back. And so you have to, the thing to be aware of as a human being is like, how hot is the water that we're in? And it's getting hotter in Hawaii.
To me, I think it's it's steaming in this country, in my opinion. I mean, other people would say, "No, you're crazy," and that you're full of beans. But I mean, if you think I'm crazy, you just wait till you have a Democrat president, Democrat House, Democrat Senate. All this stuff is going to be taken away. You can say I'm nuts, and that's not going to happen. And they're not going to do it. It's just going to be a slow death by 1,000 cuts, talk. No, I'm sorry. I don't believe that because they're already saying it now. They've been saying it, what exactly they want to do. And you're a fool if you think that that's not going to happen. It is going to be taken away. You're going to have your Second Amendment, first of all, just overnight gone. And everything else is going to fall like a house of cards after that. And I mean, they're gonna do it. They've already said they're gonna do it when they don't have power. Exactly. Yeah. God, Bill Paxton. Yes, it's the most memorable quote. It is game over. I mean, it is. There's nothing.
All right.
I mean, G Webs can sit there and say all this stuff. We need to do this and we need to do that. It doesn't. At that point, it's too late.
Yeah, look, the Second Amendment community on the internet isn't going to save you. Gun channels isn't going to save you. You have to save yourselves. I mean, we can't come and drive you to the voting booth. We can't write the petition letters. We can't hit the take action buttons for you. We can't write your politicians for. I mean, it's the only way. It's if everybody individually does it. It's an individual response. Freedom is an individual responsibility and a choice. If you want to be a slave, keep going the way you're going. I mean,
and I mentioned this earlier today. I said, Mr. Knives and I were trying to tell people, call your congressmen, call your senators, your state and your local. If you live like my congressman for the country, his office is literally a 10-minute drive from my house. And I've driven to his office and said stuff. It's like, hey, dude, get off your butt. Make more of a stink about this. I didn't literally say that, but I'm like, look, this has got to be going on. Go into their office. Go and see. Go stop on your day off, on your way to work, your way home from work. It depends on when you get off. On a weekend, go to the town halls. I get town hall messages from my congressman all the dang time. I can't go to him because I'm at work when he's having them. But, call him office in person. Don't be afraid your name's going to be put on some damn list. If you're afraid of that, you already are. And let me just tell you, folks, if you think you're not on the list, we're all on a goddamn frickin' list. It doesn't matter what the hell you believe.
We're on many lists. Many lists.
We're on many, yeah. So get that nonsense out of your head. I mean, go and talk to these people and to tell them if they don't do their job, then you're going to fire them when it comes time for their.
The hard problem in my state is we can't even get a Republican on the ballot anymore. It's against the rules.
Well, that's when you need to run, man. Be the governor. Be the go.
I want to be the king of Hawaii. I think I'm going to do away with the legislature.
There you go. Well, then get the
and people have been saying they want to bring back the monarchy. It'll just be the HVS monarchy, and I'll promise everyone to abolish taxes, to destroy the firearms registration lists. I mean, and it's so stupid because everything is on a computer that's so old that they can't print out the names and guns of the gun owners anyway. It's like some 1960s computer or 1950s computer that runs on vacuum tubes and manual switches or something. And it doesn't have a print button that works or something. They literally said that we can't really print out the. So why are we bothering to register if they can't even print? It's like the government is so incompetent they can't even hit the print button and make it work. I mean, and they want to raise our taxes so they can pay all these employees retirement and salaries. And it's like the problem is the people in Hawaii say, well, I have all these people to take care of, meaning the government employees. But that's the job is supposed to be to take care of the actual people who live here, not the government employees.
See, okay, did you ever see Bruce Million with Richard Pryor?
No.
Oh, well, he inherited a lot of money from his dead uncle or father or whatever, and his father was white because the guy had an affair with one of the maids in his house, and he's got 30 days to spend $30 million. Well, in the movie,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, but he can't keep any money. He can't make a profit off of it. So he's got to. It's really weird. But in the movie, the governor
buy $30 million worth of Tesla. You'll lose everything.
yeah. Well, but the mayor of New York race is coming up, and they're like, crime bosses or mafia bosses and everything else. Well, he throws his hat into the race. And he says, don't vote for anybody. Don't vote for me. Don't do this. Don't vote for these guys. They're crooks. Well, everybody in New York City votes for Brewster, to be mayor. It's like, Jesus. By him. So that's what you should do. He's like, just say don't vote for any of them. They're all scumbags, And then they in turn elect you king.
I'd rather take power by force of arms, to be honest with you. But anyway, or just say, I'm the king of Hawaii. If you don't have a problem with that, pick up a weapon and stand opposed and see what happens next. But it's like the people that are running the state are just dumber than a bag of hammers. And just, I don't know if it's stupidity, arrogance, or just they're a bunch of thieving rat fuck bastards, or a combination of all of the above?
Oh, we know that last statement is true. They're politicians. I mean,
All right, so I think I think Squib is probably driving home or explaining how to use a shovel to the third shift guy.
he had to go back into the building. He can't be on in the building.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to take a look at the externals, and if not too much has happened, we'll probably wrap up this chat. And thanks for tuning in and to this rant about Hawaii trying to repeal the Second Amendment. See if I can push on the right buttons. Come on, mouse. Go where it's supposed to go.
Well, folks, I mean, just please, if you're listening, whenever you're listening to this, we're not a bunch of crazy loons. Get up, go call, talk, email, write a letter. Just don't do the stupid form letters. But if you live next to your congressman, your state, local, any of your politicians there, go knock on their door. Go into their office. Sit down and talk to them. Tell them what the deal is. You know, and if you get more than one person to do that and threaten their job, you know, they might do something, but chances are they won't. But you know, just let them know.
Don't take it lying down. You know, try and if we lose these rights, they're going to be devilishly hard to get back.
We're on borrowed time, and it's going to get worse. And 2020 could be the last time we could be the last generation of people that had rights in this country,
in the world, on the planet.
On the planet. I mean, it's very likely. So please do something, folks.
So I'm gonna refill my martini and cancel out the rest of end the rest of this show. And thanks you, Patrick, and thank the other panelists who showed up, Squib, and who else was here? Oh, here he is. No, wait, no, I'm looking at the old chat.
Rupan was here.
Rupan was here? All right, Jared. Thank you, brother. God bless America. Long live our republic and our Bill of Rights, okay?
Yes.
That's what everybody was fighting for, I think. We'll see you on Mondays for the usual Lock and Load show. God bless.